Lori in Cleveland, Ohio. I believe she's the first person that I've heard of that listens on her iPhone or watches on her iPhone, but I can't seem to bring Lori up from Cleveland, Ohio. But
that's because they're still talking to
there
Lori.
we go. Here we go. Lori, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay.
Okay.
How's
So-
Cleveland, Lori?
Yeah, I am.
I know. I grew up there. I just wondered how the city was doing.
I just moved back here from Pittsburgh, so,
So you don't
I'm not
know.
really sure.
Okay.
I'm not fully
Well,
entrenched yet.
Just say hi to all my relatives.
Well, how can we help you today from Cleveland, Ohio?
Well, okay, the Cliff Notes version is that I've been in recovery for 19 years, but I have a family who, all of my immediate family members are still in active addiction,
What are you recovering from?
drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
And so I got a call on Saturday from my grandmother that it's time to do something about my mother's drinking. Right. But my grandmother is one of those active alcoholics.
Okay.
Right.
Ex-alcoholic in what way? Just cold turkey kind or recovery type?
Oh, no, active alcoholic.
Oh, active.
So
okay.
grandmother's
Okay.
drinking, and she wants to do something about her daughter's drinking.
What about arranging an intervention?
Well, that's what she wants to do.
Okay.
The problem is my grandmother was a clinical psychologist, and she's no longer practicing. Thank goodness. But she thinks that she knows how to orchestrate everything, and based on the triangulated history between my grandmother and my mother and myself, I have to really tiptoe and practice really good boundaries.
That
And I'm
tiptoeing,
not-
that tiptoeing's tough, isn't it?
It really is. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
And I 10 years ago, before my grandfather died, the last thing he did was to force my grandmother into treatment. And she resented it and hasn't let people forget it since. And, said nothing good about treatment, nothing good about 12-step programs. But now all of a sudden, thinks that that's the saving grace for my mother and wants to impose all of these rules on my mother and force her into some type of treatment.
Okay, so
Do
what's
you
the question
realize-
for us?
Well, it's almost like the bases are almost loaded, right? You've got two people.
Right.
And so I'm like, wow, you get a good interventionist in there, and it's two people that
Right.
there's an intervention for, and not just one.
Right.
Well, and what I would do, Laura, I would predict failure.
I know.
If she doesn't do that, I'd say, Grandma, it won't work. I don't want to be a part of it unless we get a professional interventionist to help us.
Yeah.
Because it just never works when the family tries to do it by
Right.
themselves.
Right.
And then to tell her you'll be great as part of the intervention, but better this way than for you to be the intervener.
And you tell her you
Right.
talked to these 3 recovery-oriented people on the radio, and they all agreed that you got to have a professional interventionist.
Right. And
Right.
that you would be able that if you're going to help your grandmother do this, that you can talk to the interventionist before you have the intervention, because the interventionist needs to know this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If your
Right.
grandmother handles it, she's in denial. She's
Right.
not going to disclose her own illness, but you let that interventionist know ahead of time, and so that they're very equipped, and they may, bring in some extra guns with them when they come.
That's right.
We have some interventionists that we work with, and if you'll hold on, we'll put you in touch with them.
I would love that.
You hold on. I'm going to say, do you have a Life Recovery Bible?
I don't.
And you've recovered for 19 years without it?
I know.
Amazing. Well, let me send
I
you
don't know
one.
how you've done it.
Yeah, let me send you one. I hope you'll like that. I think you will. An interventionist, I was actually a trained interventionist at one time. And it was back in the days of Claudia Black, who was teaching people, and I was trained by her. And it really is phenomenal of how it brings together all of the the forces to bear upon the addiction, because the addiction's so strong that it's the winner until you bring the children and the parents and the people that love this person together in a powerful event that does tend to change everything. If you think you're in a hopeless situation, an interventionist can truly come in and turn that around and produce the result that you haven't been able to nag your way into or drag somebody into. It really is phenomenal.